Hello student, today I will explain you the second part of our chapter Winter Oak. In the first part we read Savuskin came late in the class and his teacher was very angry and called him to meet her during the long break. Now we will continue the second part of our chapter. Anna Vasilovna thought that Savuskin was telling lie, so she said to him, "Aren't you ashamed to lie? It's no more than 15 minutes from your house to the highway if you take the state road and no more than half an hour along that," she said sharply. Now Anna Vasilovna said Savuskin that it's take only 15 minutes from his house to the highway, and if he took the state road within a half hour he can reach the school. "But I never take the highway, I cut through the wood," said Savuskin with a surprised look. Now Savuskin was very surprised and he said to his teacher that he never took the highway. Instead of highway, he came through the forest. A sense of grief and displeasure gripped her as it always did when children lied. Now Anna Vasilovna was very sad and unhappy as she was thinking that Savuskin was telling a lie. She remained silent, hoping that Savuskin would apologize and confess that he spent his time playing, but he only stared at her with large, innocent grey eyes. "Terrible Savuskin, I will have to see your parents about it." She was silent and hoping that Savuskin would apologize and confess his mistake, that he spent his time in playing, but Savuskin was only looking at her with his large, innocent grey eyes. And Savuskin did not confess his mistake. Anna Vasilovna told Savuskin that she wanted to meet his parents. "But I only have a mother, Anna Vasilovna, and she leaves for work at 3, Savuskin said as he smiled. And Anna Vasilovna said Savuskin that she wanted to meet his parents. Savuskin informed her that he had only a mother and she also left for work at 3, and at that time Savuskin was smiling. Feeling slightly embarrassed, she thought of Savuskin's mother, a tired nurse with 4 children to raise and a demanding job. Now the teacher was very embarrassed and she thought about the mother of Savuskin who had 4 children and a demanding job as she was a nurse. Surely his mother had cares enough, but Anna Vasilovna just had to see her. Now she thought his mother was caring, but she only wanted to meet her. "Well then, you will take me home after lessons today," she said. She told Savuskin that he would take her home after today's class. That afternoon, the path along which Savuskin took Anna Vasilovna began at the back of the school grounds. The path on which Savuskin took Anna Vasilovna began at the back of the school grounds. As soon as they stepped into the wood and the snow-laden fir branches closed behind their backs, as soon as Anna Vasilievna and Savuskin entered into the forest, they saw snow-laden fir branches close behind their backs. They found themselves in an enchanted kingdom of peace and quiet, and they felt that they are in the kingdom of peace and quiet. It was white all around, and everywhere there is white color. Flittering from tree to tree, magpies and crows shook the branches. Flittering means moving from tree to tree. Magpie is the name of a bird and crow. Magpie and crow was moving from tree to tree and was shaking the branches, knocked down fir cones, and broke an occasional dry, brittle twig. And when magpie and crows was moving from tree to tree, occasionally a dry branch broke, yet not a sound could be heard. In spite of the breaking of the twig, no sound could be heard. Their path wound along the edge of a brook, along its bank, obediently following its every twist and turn, and the way on which Sauskin and his teacher was moving side by side of a brook. Brook is a small stream of water. Occasionally the trees stepped aside, opening up sun-bathed meadows, crisscrossed by hair tracks which look like watch chains. And time the path is near the trees or on the meadows, crisscrossed by hair tracks, and there is also the track of hair that look like watch chain, and these tracks then look like a watch chains. They also saw tracks resembling clover leaves that belong to some larger animal and led into the woods. Savuskin and her teacher also saw tracks which looked like clover leaves, and they belonged to a larger animal, and these tracks led into the forest. The elves been here, Savuskin said, as if speaking of an old friend, when he noticed Anna Vasilievna interested in the tracks. When Savuskin saw his teacher was interested in those tracks, he said to her that elves are also lived there. Elves are the animal which look like deer. But don't be afraid, he replied reassuringly to her worried glance. When Savuskin saw that his teacher was worried, he again said that not to be afraid, as elks are docile. The reason is that elk are very calm and easy to control. Have you ever seen one? Anna Vasilievna asked excitedly. Now, Anna Vasilievna was excited and asked Savuskin if he had ever seen one. A live one, Savuskin cited. No, but I have seen his droppings. Now Savuskin took a long breath and answered, not live one, but he had seen his droppings. Droppings means dung, like a cow dung. He has seen the droppings of elk. Sleeping under an arch of branches, The pathway once again ran down to the stream. Now again the way was near the stream. In some places, snow blanketed the stream, and elsewhere the water flowed under a prison of ice. Now the stream was covered with snow, and in some places the water was flowing under the ice, that is called the prison of ice. It means there was ice on the upper side of the water and the water was flowing under that ice. Anna Vasilievna turned her attention to the stream and gazed in awe. And Anna Vasilievna was looking the stream with surprise. Why isn't it all ice? She asked. Now she asked Savuskin why it was not all ice. There are lots of warm springs here. See that little jet? Savuskin said animatedly. The brook is alive under the snow. Now Savuskin told his teacher that there were lots of warm springs and he showed one. He pushed away the snow and slate black transparent water came to view. He removed the snow and they saw slate black transparent water. Anna Vasilievna noticed with great fascination that when the snow slid into the stream, it thickened at once and floated beneath the water like a jelly, like greenish weed. And Anna Vasilievna noticed that the snow flowed into the water like a jelly greenish weed. She pushed more snow into the water and was delighted when a lump of snow took on an especially strange shape. Now Anna Vasilievna threw lump of snow into the water and she was delighted to see the different shape of the snow. Carried away by this, she didn't notice at first that Savushkin was waiting for her ahead. Anna Vasilievna was delighted to see that and she forgot that Savushkin was waiting for her. She hurried after him. After that, she followed her hurriedly. The forest took them farther down its tangled path. When they went into the forest, the paths were tangled there. Gradually, the trees began to thin out and make way for a silver of sunlight, which soon grew into a broad shaft. When they reached into the forest, now their forest was thin and the light of the sun was coming, and soon it grew broad in a shaft. Shaft means a beam of light there in the middle of glade. Glade means the area without trees or the less trees. Clothed in glittering white raiment, majestic as a cathedral, stood an oak, its canopy of leaves encased in snow and snowflakes lining its trunk, which glittered like silver thread. In the middle of this area there was oak tree and it was covered with snow. The writer is comparing it like a white cloth, covered in a white cloth, majestic as a cathedral. Cathedral is church. It was huge like a cathedral. Stood an oak, its canopy of leaves. Canopy of leaves, the upper area of the tree, encased in snow and snowflakes, was covered with snow and snowflakes lining its trunk. Its trunk trunk was full of snowflakes which glittered like silver thread, and it was shining like a silver thread. It seemed to Anna Vasilevna that the mighty guardian of the forest quietly waved a branch of her in greeting. Anna Vasilevna thought that the mighty means powerful guardian of the forest was quietly waving its branch to welcome her. Savuskin, meanwhile, busily observed the tree, and at that time, Savuskin was busy to see the tree, which was home of a number of lodgers. Lodgers means the person or people who lives on rent, beetles, lizards, and other insects who sought shelter from the biting cold. And this oak tree was home of many animals like beetles, lizards, and other insects who take shelter to save themselves from biting cold. The poor creatures could not have found a better home than this mighty tree that was laden with life. And these poor creatures couldn't found better home than this oak tree, and the oak tree was full of life. Anna Vasilevna was gazing in delight at this secret forest teeming with life that was till now unknown to her. And Anna Vasilevna was gazing means looking with delight all the secret of the forest which was completely unknown for her, and she had thought she was a skillful teacher. Anna Vasilevna was thinking that she was a skillful teacher. Why? A lifetime was too short to delight in wonders of the path she had just traveled, and she was thinking that his life was too short to observe the wonders of the forest on which she traveled. Besides, this path was hard to find, like a key to a magic casket, and it was very hard to find a key to that magic box. But here, deep in these woods, when she felt the same thrill of discovery which the children shouted their tractor, well, bird, case in the classroom far away, the path slowly showed itself to hers. But here, where Anna Vasilevna was moving deep in this forest, she felt same thrill of discovery as her children was shouting in the class, tractor, well, bird, case. The path slowly showed itself to her. The path of the forest was giving many adventures to Anna Vasilevna. Well, Savuskin, thanks for the walk. Anna Vasilevna, thanks Savuskin for the walk. It's past 3 and we will have miss your mother. And she told Savuskin that it's past 3 and they miss their mother. And yes, you can take this part too if you want. And Anna Vasilevna said Savushkin that he could take that path if he wanted. Savushkin wanted to promise that he would never come late again, but that would be a lie. Savushkin wanted to promise his teacher that he would never come late, but it would be a lie. He blushed, raised his collar, and pulled down his cap. Now he was smiling and he raised his collar and pulled down his cap to show respect. I'll walk you back. Now Savishkin said his teacher that he would walk her back. It's all right, Savuskin. I will go alone. But Anna Vasilyevna said Savuskin that it was all right and she would go alone. He looked doubtfully at his teacher, picked up a stick, broke off its crooked tip, and gave it to Anna Vasilyevna. But Savuskin was doubtful, so he broke a stick and gave it to Anna Vasilyevna. If you meet the elk, he said, wave this stick but don't strike him, or he may take offense and leave our wood forever. Savuskin said to her that if she met an elk, wave that stick, didn't hit him, or he might took offense and leave their forest for forever. Very well, Savushin, I shan't beat him. Anna Vasilyevna said Savuskin that she would not beat him. Having walked off a bit, Anna Vasilyevna turned round to look at the oak. When Anna Vasilyevna moved forward, she turned back to look at the oak, rosy white in the rays of the setting sun. It was rosy white in the rays of setting sun, and saw a dark little figure at its foot. Savuskin hadn't left, and Savuskin was standing near it, holding guard over his teacher from afar and looking his teacher from far. And it suddenly dawned on Anna Vasilyevna that the most wonderful thing about this wood wasn't its winter oak, but this little man. And now Anna Vasilyevna thought that the most wonderful thing about this forest is not winter oak, but this little boy, this wonderful citizen of the future. She waved her hand to him and started off a leisurely pace along the winding footpath. Now Anna Vasilyevna waved her hand and start moving to the curving path of the forest. This is all about winter oak. I hope you will understand the chapter.